Oh, yeah.
A little glass on.
Yeah. You ready to get this one started?
Let's do it.
What episode is this?
Tres.
3.
Episode 3.
Trois. For the French people out there.
Didn't you say that most people stop after 3?
Yes. I was following some Instagram people that specialize in podcasts. And one of the things I read/heard because it was a video, is that most people don't make it past episode 3. So this is our last episode.
So the pressure's on. The pressure is on. We have to keep going.
We are going to keep going because this is so much fun. If no one even watches, I'm having fun with you. So that's all that matters. Before we go.
Yeah, show us what we have right there.
The freaking Bengals. All right. I've been a Bengals fan forever. I stopped watching football probably about 2 or 3 years ago when the whole kneeling thing came into play. But it's been 30 years since the Bengals have even won a freaking playoff game, and they just won the AFC Championship, and now they're going to the Super Bowl, so they'll play, I think it's the Rams or the Niners, which is crazy. If it's the Niners, the Bengals have been to the Super Bowl twice, and I've told you this like 5 times. Yeah. Both times have been against the 49ers, and both times they have lost. The last time was Super Bowl 23 in Miami against Joe Montana was the quarterback, Roger Craig, Tom Rathman, Ronnie Lott. Some of you guys know those names. They were freaking studs. But we'll see. We'll see who it is. But I'm super. That's the longest you've ever watched the game. Like, we just got done watching the game. I think that's the longest you've watched a game, right?
I mean, ever no, but
recently,
yeah, I'm not recently. Yeah, because I'm not into it either.
Yeah,
but that one was good. It kind of reeled me.
It was exciting.
I should have recorded your reaction.
My
honestly.
parents were excited. I think I might have peed my pants. I was excited. I was excited. All right, so what are we talking about today, baby?
Well, we were talking about social media earlier, so I thought that it might be a good topic to hit.
That is a great topic because in some way or another, it's influencing pretty
one
much
way or another. And
what
influencing
did
everyone.
I say?
I don't know.
No,
I guess I was about to say that it influences people in either a negative or a positive way.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Which is what I was trying to say. So thanks for getting that one. There is pros and cons for the media piece. Your face is blocked off. Were you just thinking that?
I tried to
your little thing. Try to scoot it. No, I mean it's fine.
It's fine.
It's just you have this little thing right here is your perfect. Now I see you.
Talk like this. Okay, why don't you do the pros?
Okay.
And I'll do the cons. I just feel like that's probably.
I think any way you look at this, it's obviously the way you frame your mind around it. All right. Because if I just sit here and be like, oh, media, it does this. Yeah. And I point out all this negative stuff. Absolutely. Because the list is long for the negatives. But it's also long for the positives. So coming off the top of my head, it's very educational.
Yeah, it can be.
I watch tons of videos on jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, camping stuff. Mm-hmm. Even though our camping will always be in a freaking Marriott.
I will never, ever, ever camp.
Yeah, but
outside.
It's good for preparedness. They learn stuff on how to prepare better.
Survival tips.
Survival
stuff.
Like that. Yeah, that's probably better than camping. So it has a lot of stuff. There's motivational quotes, inspiration, workout stuff. I mean, there's all I don't do CrossFit, but they have there's CrossFit pages. There's dudes that just jack steel. There's dudes that do fighting workouts. There's solid dudes that do great things. Our pastor Craig Rochelle. Yeah. They put out good stuff. There's just good stuff. It kind of just depends on what you fill your feed with and what you're going to feed your mind.
True.
So now does this leave doors open for the negative?
For sure.
Which is what? What's the negatives?
I was going to let you finish.
I'm sure more positives. Okay, another positive that I love, like Facebook. If we do something with the family, we get all these pictures instead of texting each individual one or doing those freaking, God forbid, text logs where everybody's texting, they're liking, and then someone doesn't have an iPhone and just repeats the freaking text message. You get to let everyone know, hey, here's
blast everybody at the same time.
Exactly. Hey, this was us at the pumpkin patch. Here's the kids, and all our family sees it all. They can comment, and it kind of brings everyone together. So that's a positive. I think that's a great positive. Marketing for Contingent Group, for Unafraid, sell things for my job, sell things, push stuff, motivate people. I mean, that's a platform to motivate people, inspire people. I mean, some people don't like it. That's fine. They can just keep scrolling. But some people get stuff. I mean, you've seen the messages that come in that are people are getting inspired. I mean, if it helps one person and makes their day better, mission complete. I think that's perfect. So I've showed you. Sorry.
So you've had personal experience influencing people, whether it be like through like, well, I mean, like with your job or with like motivational things. You've had personal experience, right? Like people have reached out to you, like
yes,
hey,
not knowing I was not thinking that it was reaching the people. Because sometimes when I post, I'm like, man, this is really good. This really hit me. I'll just throw it out there. And the reason it started is I posted something. It was a biblical quote, I think. Somebody reached back out on Instagram, DM'd me, and they go, hey, I needed this right now. Thank you so much. Like, you have no idea what this did for me. And it's like, okay, that could be anything. He didn't go into personal whatever, but I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like, all I did was did a post and it inspired someone. I see things all the time that I'm inspired. I'm like, man, my life isn't bad. Or if I'm like down and like I read something or I follow, like, another one is like Jesus stuff or God stuff. I follow stuff all the time where it's like scripture or it's something, or like, hey, be thankful for the stuff that you have.
Right.
Because in a world filled with entitlement and we're never too happy, we need to have this, we need this, we need this, we need this.
Yeah.
Kind of look at what you have and be thankful for that, because it's a lot. We have a roof over our head, we have food, we have awesome kids, 99% of the time, and we have each other. So like I think there's some great things out there on social media for sure. Take it away.
I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. But yeah, I'm going to hit the negatives because I am someone that it affects in a negative way.
You struggle with it.
I definitely struggle with it, and not so much Facebook as much as Instagram. It's like, why is that? You know?
I don't know.
I don't either. I think like Instagram just has a totally different, what do you call that?
Feel, vibe.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know, but I will say I was having a conversation with one of my friends earlier, actually at the gym. And she's someone who, like, I think is just an amazing person. Like, she was like over 200 and something pounds. And she lost, no, you know what? I want to say she was like close to 300.
Oh, wow.
And she lost over like 150 pounds.
That's awesome.
And she was like killing it in the gym. And she told me that one of her motivating factors was like following these like fit girls. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
And so we're talking about it. And I'm like, man, you know, like, do you think that that's even real though? Because like I know it's not real. Like we know it's not real, right? It's like all airbrushed and it's fake.
They do some airbrush. I mean, there's some people out there that are in great shape. Don't get me wrong.
For sure, yeah, like, but I mean, they're posed and they're flexing. You can tell the ones that are brushed relaxed.
up and filtered to death. Yeah.
Yes, and so I think for females out there, especially, it's like super hard with things like Instagram to kind of live a normal life, because we think that the expectation is that we have to look a certain way. So let me go back to my story. She lost so much weight and she got like obsessed with working out. And I mean, she got so obsessed to the point where like she'd follow like the macro things, you know, like you can follow like all that stuff. And she got like super into that. And she became anorexic because she would see these girls.
She became obsessed.
Oh yeah. Like overly obsessed. And I've been there. And so I was having this conversation with her and I was almost like I was mirroring myself. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I was there at one point and I was very unhealthy at one point, and I was using those people. Now I didn't have Instagram back then, but it was your like those magazines, like, you know, like Jamie Eason was on and like
Muscle and Fitness.
Yeah. Like all those, like those were like the girls that I looked up to, and that was before they had kids, and so they all had perfect bodies and this and that. Anyways, and so she became so obsessed that she ended up like totally jacking up her kidneys. So she is like
is that what happens when you don't eat or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she has to have injections, like some type of like spinal injection. I don't know what it is, but sounds painful, sounds terrible. She said once you have the injections, like 6 injections at a time. And once you do that, she's like, you won't see me in the gym for probably like another couple weeks because it makes you have diarrhea. It makes you feel really sick.
Right.
And she just doesn't have the energy to work out. And, you know, now, like looking at her now, she's definitely put weight back on and she's nowhere near where she was before. But I remember her being that thin. And I would always be like, oh, you look so good. You look so good. And I had no idea what was going on mentally. I was feeding it.
Yeah. But not knowing.
I had no idea. Yeah. And then whenever she kind of like laid her whole story out there, I was like, holy crap. And she dated a guy that was like in the NFL and like he kind of had some influence on her too. Like he'd hang out with all the girls that, you know, were like perfect or whatever perfect is. And
on the outside, probably not on the inside.
Right. Well, and they probably just wanted his money. But anyways, so we were just talking about that. And I just like was shocked, I guess, because I never would have known and I met her probably like a year and a half ago. So this has all happened within like the last year and a half. Like she has put weight back on, but her kidneys are screwed up for life.
Wow. Because
she had this like obsession with her weight and working out and wanting to look like something that isn't even realistic, I guess. So that would be like my point number one. And I know like a lot of girls struggle with like comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah, but also people look at that like I want to, like that's motivation and they do better. I mean, I see dudes that are jacked and I'm like, man, I want to lift harder.
So I'm not talking to those people then. You know, like I'm talking to the ones that like are seriously like me, you know, like that kind of get like, they go too far with it, I guess.
Right.
And she's one of those that just kind of took it too far and kind of like developed these insecurities and just this anxiety about, you know, having to look a certain way. But anyway, so yeah, we just had like a freaking long conversation about it and we kind of saw things the same way. And she's like, you know, like you don't really see girls anymore without filters. Like they don't take pictures without filters. It's like Snapchat came out and everyone thinks that that's like what you're supposed to look like is zero wrinkles and let's go ahead and change your eye colors real quick. And it's just weird. Like it's just not reality. And I think that so many people are living in a false reality. And then you come back to real life and you like don't know what to do with yourself. Like you become obsessed with what you see in this fake reality, right?
I respect the people that just say, here it is, just woke up having coffee.
Yeah.
I respect that. Like, because you know what? That's what I look like when I wake up too. And so do you.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
but you know what?
Don't need to filter crap.
I have to say, I'm one of those girls though, that I'm like, okay, I don't want to just take a picture whenever I just woke up and like, I don't want to do that.
I think you look the hottest when you first wake up. I've told you that.
You always say that.
Because you do.
You always say that.
You look amazing. Especially when you're sipping on the coffee. You look beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, you don't need to put that shit on.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you look freaking smoking when you do, but you're still smoking when you don't.
Well,
and I'm the only one that matters, right?
That's true.
But I know it's your self-confidence.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's, and there's people the other way that just don't care. There's people that literally just do not care.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, this is me. This is unfiltered. Cause you always see it unfiltered, no filter or whatever it is. Right. Like,
what's that butterfly above your head though? Just kidding.
Oh, that actually just flew by. Yeah. It can go overboard for sure. But I mean, yeah, there, like we said, there's pros and there's cons. So that's definitely a con if you obsess about it. But I mean, that could be anything. That could be not even anybody before the media, just like sees a magazine or sees a movie. Oh, I want to be like that. I'm too fat. I want to do this. Comes out of those choices.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I just think that, you know, since social media, everything's gone downhill. It definitely makes everything harder. Like it's not like the magazines. It's not. It's like 5.0. Like here's magazines and then social media is way ahead of the game. Like,
see, I look at it like the other way. I'm like, man, I forgot this. We went over a move in jiu-jitsu or something. What was that move? I'll just freaking hashtag whatever the move is, guillotine. And there it is, a bunch of examples. So it's like, how are you going to use it?
Okay. So there's another one of my great points to it being, it could be negative, is you get so used to just like having everything at your fingertips. Like, and I get it. It's like what's the year? 2022. I almost said 2021. It's 2022. So I get it. Like it's totally different, but I think I'm a little more old school than like a lot of people because I try not to be super obsessed with like social media and like my phone and stuff like that, because I do think it takes away from reality with it always being in your face or up your ass. And so I try my hardest. I mean, I still have days where I'm like bored and I just mindlessly scroll, which is stupid. But
yeah, you're not obsessive.
No, I don't think I am. But I know like a lot of people are. And so what did you say though? I just lost my train of thought again.
I'm just saying how like if I need to find information or get some knowledge, that you can type in something.
Yeah, which could be a great thing.
It can be a great thing,
but could also
as long as it's a good source and not some crap.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be a bad thing. I mean, like, so, you know, you could be in a fight with your spouse or whoever, and you're like, oh, I'll just like see what chicks are out there because
start opening the doors.
Because that's right at your fingertips too, right? You can just message anybody you want to, and no one has to know because guess what? Now they have like vanishing mode. Like we're like setting our
that's
society
just
up
breeds cheating. I mean, that's what Snapchat was freaking a cheating app.
Absolutely.
At the beginning.
So we're set, and this is why like so many relationships struggle. And this is why a lot of females struggle. And I'm sure some guys out there probably have insecurities too. I mean, you can do the same thing with dudes. You can type in whatever you want and there's a million dudes you can talk to. And it just like, I just hate it. Like I hate it. I hate it for like our kids growing up. I probably sound so stupid, but I just don't like it. I just wish we could go back to like, we could keep the good stuff, right? Like if you want to use it for like your job or for something motivational, that's great. But I think that a large percentage of people use it for something negative, like to feed their own wants and desires and you know?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. People use alcohol to relax or have a drink casually with their significant other or friends, or they go freaking to booze town and go crazy. It comes down to personal choices. Like if you're against it and don't want to use it, then don't use it. You know what I mean?
Did you read my cup?
If I were a bird, I'd know who I would shit on. Would you shit on me right now?
No.
But you know what I'm saying though? I think it's good, but it could be bad. Just like anything else. Anything else it can be bad. Like chocolate is so good. In moderation, of course, but it can be extremely bad. Plain and simple. Any kind of food, if you eat too much of it, it's not good for you. But it doesn't mean you get rid of it, you know? But I totally see what you're saying. And I mean, I think we talked about this, that social media is the number one cause for divorce or getting things stirred up at the home front.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to dinner the other day and minus checking your menu because everyone's on the stupid COVID weirdness to scan it to get the little menu to pop up. A lot of people just are on the phone, like
scrolling
social media and not even talking to their family.
Right.
If you're one of those people, you're wrong. If you're out to dinner or at home and the family's around the table, you're freaking wrong. I don't care what you say. You're wrong. You're not that important. I promise you are not that important, and you're not going to miss anything. I had to say that. I can't stand that.
You're really good about that though.
That thing ticks me off. That ticks me off.
Yeah, you don't really like do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're a freaking loser if that's like your priority over your family. Yeah. That's you want to know why it's failing? That's why, because you're checking your freaking phone when you should be engaging with your family.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy, obviously.
There should be like a cutoff time, you know, like when mom or dad comes home from work, like everybody's off electronics.
Mom or dad?
Mom or dad? Dad?
Dad?
From this time to this time, there should be like no electronics. I feel like we should do that. We should try that.
We stop them pretty early. They don't stay on late. Weekends are a different story sometimes.
We should abide by that too.
I freaking put on Do Not Disturb around 8:30. Sometimes I do forget, but usually I'm 8:30. Remember, I'm always like, we're on nighttime, and then the kids, Sammy or Kayla, will be like, hey, I texted you last night. Like, yeah, I don't know, because I Do Not Disturb. Yeah. If it's an emergency, they can call, because they're in the favorites. So if like it was an emergency, they can call.
Right, yeah.
Or get a hold of you or something.
Right.
So, yeah, I love that Do Not Disturb. Don't want anything.
It's a great feature.
It is a great feature because you get like a work email and you're like, oh crap, I got to do that tomorrow.
You feel like you have to respond to it if you get it. And so is that why you do that? Is that why you personally do it?
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want to fill my brain, especially before bed. If I don't want to see an email, I don't want to see a text. I don't want to start a conversation because then I feel like a jerk if I'm not responding. So I just don't respond. Yeah. So if I like my friends, I think most of them know like, hey man, just so you know, if I don't respond, it's because I go to do not like dark mode at like 8:30 because I just don't. Sometimes it's at 6 because I just don't want to talk to people. I mean, nothing against them. I want some quiet time. Want to be here. That's all. Bengals won, by the way. AFC champs are going to the Super Bowl. I had to say that
I
again.
think you already said it.
It's so exciting.
Oh, man.
It's so cool. It's so cool. All right, what else we got?
I mean, that was just it. Like, I really wanted to like tell that story just because it hit me really freaking hard because I have a personal experience like that. And I know a lot of women who also have experienced things like that. And I just want people to know, like, that's not normal. It's not reality. What you see on social media, even like family pictures where, like, I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, everyone takes
the
family
perfect
pictures.
family. The perfect family.
I don't want to like minimize that. Like, I think that's great. But the point is that like and people aren't posting those pictures, I don't think, just to be like, oh wait, we're perfect. Don't forget we're perfect.
I think some do. Like, oh, look at my new truck.
Well, that's between them and God.
But here's the thing though on that. It's kind of like, how do you frame your mind? It goes right back to your mindset. Are you posting that to brag about it? Or did you bust your butt, go through hell and back, and this is like your goal that you've had on your dream board, and all of a sudden you got it, and you just want to show the world, like, hey, dreams come true. I've been working my ass. Like, that's cool. Yeah. So it kind of depends on what it is. And the thing is, we don't know, but a lot of people usually assume, oh, they're doing that because of this. You know, we always think it's the negative.
Yeah,
usually.
People probably thought that we shared our baptism video that's so we could pretend like we're perfect.
But the funny thing is, we've been baptized before, so that
doesn't even matter.
I think a lot of people think that.
I'm just saying, like, about back to the family picture is, you know, we only see people's highlight reels. We don't see, you know, behind closed doors. And so that's something to remember. And yeah, I'm 34 and I still struggle with that sometimes. Like, I just do. Like, you know, the insecurities, the anxieties, and like the comparisons and all that. And for what? You know, like comparing myself, or you're comparing yourself to something that's not even freaking real.
Well, you do see the families though, like they're like, oh, they're on vacation or they're doing this or whatever. Like, everyone has issues. Everyone has some sort of issues that they're dealing with. But I think there's just those families that are like, can kick butt, or they get destroyed by whatever those issues are. We're not perfect. We have issues. We argue. We disagree on things. The kids get under our skin, like not literally, but we have issues.
Yeah.
The dogs chew crap and we want to freaking murder them. Like, we have issues. We're not perfect. And no one, I don't think anyone is. There's no one perfect, no perfect family out there. I mean, there's definitely families that do it better, for sure. But yeah, sometimes it does look pretty perfect on their glamour shots when they throw it on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, good for them. Like, if they're kicking butt, like, that's great. But yeah, it's never perfect. Don't ever think it's perfect, because they've always got, I mean, they could have had a huge fight right before and hopefully everything was great, but don't think that they don't fight. I mean, and I think some people think that, oh, that family's so perfect. They're so great. She always bakes that great casserole. Like, dude, they have
I'm not
issues.
talking about me because I don't bake.
No, we know. We know.
Yeah. Well, that's really all I got. I just felt like I needed to talk about that because the story just kind of hit home. I know a lot of people struggle with it. She's not the first person that I've talked to that has mentioned something like that. And I've had people ask, like, you know, how do you and Eddie do it? How are y'all? I'm like, really? Like, let me tell you, sister.
She does it by putting a gun to my head.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. Oh my gosh.
You were supposed to tell people that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's just like, people don't see the hard work that goes into stuff. They don't see it.
We do put work. We put a lot of work.
Yeah.
One of my friends, our mutual friends, reached out on messengers. I guess our podcast dude, Zach, for episode 2, he put, we will not get divorced.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, I remember seeing that. I'm like, dude, we've only been married for like 6 months. Of course, we're not getting divorced just yet, even though people do. I mean, like Britney Spears, I think she did with whatever that one guy's name was. But I was like, yeah, the podcast guy did that. But then I was like, what's wrong with saying that?
Oh, wait, like he thought we were...
Right, like he was just like, oh, why are you saying this? You've only been, I hope not, you've only been married for 6 months. So I'm like,
I didn't know about that.
You should be saying that day one to freaking 20 years down the road. We're not getting divorced. We're not getting divorced. We're not getting divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all heard it, like, words have power. Like, that should be your mindset. We aren't getting divorced. We don't care what happens. Like, we're going to be pushing through. And with that comes boundaries and what we do and watch, especially like on the media thing, because the dark side can be very dark on media, and I showed you my phone when we were friends. And you tell them what I have on there. I was talking to quite a few.
Well,
women.
Yeah.
No, it goes back to the freaking what we're talking about. See, you're getting uncomfortable with it.
It's so uncomfortable.
Well, it's true. Like freaking, that's what we're doing this podcast for, is not to be transparent. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah, it was it's embarrassing for me.
Yeah,
I was talking to multiple females, and that's why you worry about me with media. That's the fact.
Yeah,
which is why I give you all my passwords as well. I give you password to my phone because I want to be transparent. I don't want you to wonder. I don't want you to worry.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do dumb shit. Like, screw that. I don't want that crap. I don't want that life. That's not me. I don't want that. And
yeah, it leads to nowhere.
It leads to nowhere fast. Yeah, real fast. So I know there's tons of people that are struggling with that. And there's
because of social media.
Because of, yes, you're right. There's so many apps out there.
Yeah.
Like so many. I mean, I think we tried to name them. We were at like 10. There's so many.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be dumb, that's what it is. If you're going to be dumb and start a relationship on the side, like obviously there's a way to do it using one of the 901 freaking apps out there. Just don't do it. So yeah, it definitely opens the door for sure. That's why you need to have those accountabilities like we've discussed and heard about and read about. Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. So basically, if you're using social media for a negative thing, you need to stop.
There you go.
You better stop. You better stop it right now.
Don't you just kind of want to sing sometimes? I feel like I'm in a
don't.
recording studio.
No.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm all out of love.
All right.
I'll stop.
We just lost some listeners.
Everyone's gone now.
Anyways.
All right. Are we done, Ski?
Yeah, that's great. Man, I just wanted to like get that out because we were talking about it and we might as well.
That's kind of like a rant. That really bothers you. This media really bothers you.
I hate it. I can't stand it. And that'll never change.
You like Pinterest. That's media.
Pinterest is different.
Why is that different?
There's not naked chicks all over Pinterest. There's flower arrangements for our wedding that I am.
There's flower arrangements on. What is this naked stuff? Why do you always go to the extreme? There's not negative stuff on Instagram. It's censored. Not that I follow that stuff, but it's not a nudie site.
Some of it might as well be.
But you use Pinterest. I mean, then that be scrolling, kind of going back to like the scrolling thing?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is some cool stuff on Pinterest. Like,
there's some way cool stuff.
It makes me want to turn into Martha Stewart. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all. Is that it for us?
That's all I got.
You want to close us out, love?
Yeah. We will be doing another episode, right?
Yep,
we're not stopping at 3.
We're going to break that trend. The Bengals won, by the way, right here.
For the 3rd time in a row.
Yep.
We're excited about it. At least one of us is. One of us is pretending to be.
You are excited. My parents are super excited.
Excited for
I'm
you.
excited for them.
So anyways, thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.
Be safe.